Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Hoarding Dragons. I'm your host, Inane Dragon, and this is Cock Island, a delicious Imperial Porter, I believe. You can't have it, it's mine. Last time on Hoarding Dragons, our adventurers, got drunk.
Really drunk.
I wish I could give a more engaging and beautiful synopsis, but really that's what they did. They got drunk, they got hammered, they got skunked, and they got demonic.
Yeah.
Yes, that happened. Our players drank what is known as Demon Ichor Liquor, and in the process developed certain mutations, and got attacked by a dragon and a bunch of its henchmen, but that was independent. That was going to happen even if they were sober, so, you know,
And
don't
we
blame the
fucked
liquor.
that dragon.
Don't blame the liquor.
We fucked that dragon.
Oh, the dragon. It died. It could have been a reoccurring enemy, but it wasn't.
No thanks to Martin, who ran
No
away
thanks
like
to
a
the
coward.
rogue. No thanks to the rogue who grew a pair of wings and beat it out of there.
Flew away like a chicken shit.
It's lovely. He's gonna pay for that.
At the very least, he attempted to take Thodrian with him.
True, he
Yes,
did
he
try.
to kidnap Thodrian.
He did
The
try.
rogue tried to kidnap our fucking paladin.
He did try to pick up a paladin wearing full plate mail and carry him
Brilliant
off
fucking
into the
idea.
wind, and thus deny his allies their, main source of surviving the situation.
And
Yeah.
completely
So-
unnecessary to the game. My cat is utterly fascinated with Dragon's speech. Just every time he talks, looks to the thing and goes, "What? Give me more."
This is disturbing. That's the wrong kind of pussy. Now, eventually, we're going to get to boring mechanical aspects such as rolling follow-up saving throws from last session.
Is it bad that I kind of hope I fail my saving throws and keep the thing? I want to keep the thing.
Hell,
Oh,
one of your
poor-
first attacks almost killed you last time.
Hey, it doesn't matter, all right?
Poor
I wanna keep the
Alucard.
thing.
Poor Alucard, thinking that he'll get a positive benefit out of this roll.
This is going to be ugly. This is.
Oh,
gonna be
yes,
so
it is.
ugly.
So
We know it's going to be bad.
while I
It's
finish,
Demon Liquor.
while I finish my little narrative here at the beginning, why don't Jim and Billy roll 2 wisdom saves, and Walker roll 1? Of
Am I
everyone
rolling
in
normal wisdom saves
Normal.
or without?
These are
Demon?
these are normal, no advantage, no disadvantage.
All right.
Interestingly,
wait for my
Thodrian
thing to
was the
open.
one person smart enough to go, I'm not going to drink something made out of demon blood. You'd have
Why
thought
wouldn't
more
you
people would
drink it?
understand this concept, but there you have it.
Holy
Only the
shit,
paladin.
I have a problem. My entire character sheet is zeros. This is a display problem on my end, so I'm just gonna roll d20s.
Yeah, it appears to be a display problem on your end.
I'm just gonna roll
those
D20.
numbers look rightish. What?
Yeah, on my end, it's displaying as nothing but zeros. I know that's wrong. So I'm just gonna roll D20s on my end.
Weird.
Well, that's a fail.
He said roll 2.
Yeah, you need to roll 2. Wow, that was a hell of a way to get derailed, but that is kind of important if your player's character sheet goes blank. I won't apologize for letting myself
And that
get my
might be a
attention on that.
pass. The first one's a fail. The second might be a pass.
He has no idea what the DCs are, as you can tell.
Nope, no idea what the DCs are. No idea what they actually are post my character. Other than the 6 is probably a 9 if you add my character bonuses in, which is still probably a fail.
Do you not remember how high your wisdom is?
17 or 18 or 19, one of those numbers?
And do you remember what the bonus for an 18 or a 19 is?
Off the top of my head, don't judge me. I play 3rd edition.
Did you know the bonus was the same in 3rd edition?
So I have a +4. So that goes from a 6 to a 10, which is still a fail.
And did you remember that you're proficient in wisdom saves because you're a fucking cleric?
That makes no difference to me in 3rd edition. What does that do?
Will saves, motherfucker. Will saves, wisdom saves. The words even have similar definitions.
Yeah, well, yes, but I'm 3rd edition. What does being proficient in a will save mean?
The same thing it meant in 3rd edition. You get a bonus to it.
What's the bonus?
Isn't it +2?
In 5th edition, it's +2 because it's the same. Your proficiency bonus is the same across everything.
Okay, so from 6 to 10 to 12, that's still probably a fail. From 13 to 17 to 19, that's a pass.
Okay,
I
so
think I'm probably screwed.
According to my sheet, I currently have 8 hit points. Don't judge me.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did
you
stab
took a
him.
beating.
I did
Yeah.
stab
oh,
him.
he's good.
He took a beating.
That one. So, the important thing is, you're still in the caravan. You're still traveling with the Cult of the Dragon to Waterdeep, in case anybody was trying to remember what all is going on. Technically, Kadama, we haven't gotten past the part where we explain the last 19 sessions in as brief a brief a set of words as we can, while still conveying the important information.
We are well beyond being able to do that now.
I mean, I
Straight
still
well
want
beyond
my
that.
barrel, all right? There's a barrel I want. Don't judge
Yes,
me.
but you have a job to do.
And the job is get the fucking barrel.
You got paid to do
You
a
need money
job.
first.
You got paid to do a job. You got a nice big gem to go do a job. And that job happens to dovetail with beating up some motherfucker who skimped you on your last job and getting your money from him.
And if I can get my blessed fucking holy barrel to make my wine in,
They might get away
it's
and
a
you
bonus.
won't actually do your job.
the job is secondary to that point. Don't judge
Boy,
me.
he is a... Wow. Okay.
All right, so having successfully, just to wrap up the description and get back into play, having successfully more or less calmed down the crowd enough to make them not kick you out of the caravan as horribly deranged and bizarre monstrosities of deformed nature.
Oh, something side note. I'm having trouble finding you on YouTube.
Weird. We'll worry about that later. Having gotten them settled down, having dealt with the corpses in your campsite, the question becomes, what do you do? Call it a night? Sleep with your 8 hit
Oh
points?
no, I'm skinning the corpse.
He's skinning the corpse of the dragon.
All right, and I know Billy was collecting its blood for another experiment in magical alcoholism.
Oh no, 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 no. I'm gonna try to slap Billy's hand away from everything after that sword fucking drank my blood because it was thirsty.
To be fair, the dragon was already exsanguinated.
Oh yeah,
When I
that is a good
stabbed you.
point. That is a good
Don't
point.
care. If Billy comes close, I'm slapping his hands.
Okay.
Yes, but
Is
Billy's the
there
only one
anything-
with the demon ichor liquor.
Is there
I'm
anything
still
that I can
slapping them
benefit
hands.
from?
What's that, Walker?
Is there anything that I can benefit from off this dragon as a sorcerer?
Offhand,
Many spell components.
give me a. I'm just gonna click it since I'm in here anyways. Arcana check.
Arcana.
So let's see what you rolled. You rolled perfectly average for your character.
Of course.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cologne, they haven't taken over the caravan because they're spying on the caravan. Taking it over would kind of, defeat the point.
Yeah, we're totally
We're
like
infiltrating. We're following.
infiltrating this as Jim Jones is skinning the corpse of a dragon.
Quite
and
possibly with the
keeping
claws
every
that
part
grew.
of it.
Quite possibly with the claws that grew out of his hands.
Yes.
Hey, can I skin those off? If I can skin those off, I'm taking them.
Skin
Wait,
off your own.
claws? No, you're skinning
Yeah.
it with your own claws.
Yeah,
You grew
I will
claws.
take off my own fucking claws if I can fucking take them. Jim Jones is drunk
Roll-
enough to not fucking care.
Let's just go with no, because you're not going to be able to hold your weapon after you come down off of this.
I can't hold my weapon as is.
Oh God.
Uh-oh. Is that me?
No, you know what? No, a 10 is high enough for you to go. Defenestrating myself might kill me.
Okay, so I won't do that. But I will take another shot of that liquor.
Do we even have any more?
We do.
He has a
Ah.
barrel.
He had
That's
40
what
shots worth. And you
I-
guys
I will
went
take
through-
another shot of that liquor.
You guys went
As
through
I continue
18.
on my work.
So I
We're
got
up to
12 shots
18.
left.
Yep.
Okay. Now, my wisdom check that you asked for earlier, was that the wisdom check to not keep drinking?
No, that was something that will maybe get explained later.
Ah, okay. I'm going to roll another one just for shits and grins to see if I do take another shot. Just because.
Well,
see what
that
happens
brings
here.
you into my fucking realm. Hello, comrade. Yes, we will do the thing and drink the liquor. It
So
is
we
good.
aren't even getting to the hangover yet, apparently.
To be fair, I never said I was giving anyone any more.
That is a
come
good
on,
point.
Let's get to the hangover, people.
Okay.
Let's
Hangover
get
it
to
is.
the hangover.
Hangover
So-
it is. I got one power. It's severely disformed head.
So, for what it's worth, for those of you who stay up later, for example, if you're skinning a dragon or, disposing of corpses, anything that keeps you up later, you notice that after about an hour, you start to revert to normal. Your claws fade away, your claws kind of painfully recede back into mere fingers.
Okay,
Your
that's
skull
me.
crushes your brain back into normal size and shape, and you can feel
That's-
every
that's-
instant of it.
That's gonna hurt.
I don't even remember what the fuck all happened to Billy Brewbuckle, to be honest with
I
you.
don't think Billy got anything.
Billy got shit. It was
The funny
Jim
thing
Jones
is-
and Walker that got the shit, but I got the shit Walker
No.
should have got.
Don't forget, Rise got some shit too.
Martin got some
he's
shit
on
too.
Already, yeah, he's already
Martin
unconscious
got
though,
wings
so he's not
that
gonna feel
passed
this
the
shit
fuck
yet.
out like a pussy. Martin is getting that chicken feed for the next 20 games.
But I
Try me.
have 2 checks on Billy indicating that he actually received shit. Oh well, I ain't gonna worry about it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well,
Either you
received
got
something.
stuff and we forgot about it because it was overshadowed by all of the other crazy crap, or
you're Jim
incorrectly
Jones
marked
with
shit.
a venomous bite who affects himself, claws who can't touch anyone. And oh, look, here's a bonus if you get hit, but it doesn't matter.
Yep.
God damn it, I should have fucking min-maxed my character. That would have been beautiful.
I mean, given your wisdom score, you kinda did, but
Yeah.
you
I
min-maxed
went
for something else.
flavor. Where did my money go?
So,
And,
ultimately, you guys sleep and you wake up. And believe it or not, you don't feel all that hungover, despite how much you drank, and despite how stupid you were, and despite fighting a dragon, and despite
Okay.
growing demonic features all over the fucking place.
Okay. Okay. Jim Jones reaches at his belt and grabs a. I don't know what liquor does he grab.
We're gonna go with brandy. He came across some brandy at some point.
Oh.
He
Well,
stole
well,
he stole a bottle of the good stuff from that party in El Turl.
All right. He grabs up some brandy. He takes a drink, and he passes it to Billy, going, "Here the dog." With instructions to pass around to everyone who drank some.
yeah, I'm gonna need some of that. Apparently, my character's got a crushing headache.
Because brandy is good. Yes, comrade, brandy is good. Now I must still find the tree that will make my barrel, but brandy is good. Yes.
As Thodrian and Brune prepare breakfast, because somebody's got to be the useful people in the group.
There we go.
It starts to dawn on you guys that there's a.
Give me a moment.
All right, we are apparently having some technical problems on Donut's end.
All right.
Alright, I'm just gonna up my input sensitivity a bit and use my speakers. Alright, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you're.
I can actually hear someone now. Who was I not hearing?
Donut.
Donut, no, you are my butt
My
tapping.
input
friend.
hasn't
I must
changed.
hear you.
Yeah,
I'm just-
things have been
I'm just
weird.
changing my output.
Well, you were quieter before, for what
Oh,
it's worth.
Well, I'm just being louder now because I want to make sure that I trigger the voice thing.
Oh, be
Ah,
good
gotcha.
and loud. You are a good one. Unlike Martin, who's like, I'm gonna fly away.
Martin
Shots
seems to be the only one of you who's still really trying to sleep it off. He is crashed out in the back of your cart.
All right, so for cinematic purposes, Martin, Jim Jones will gather him up, put him in the cart, build a small chicken cage over his entire body with a pile of seeds in front of him.
Are you
That
building
is
the?
how Martin will wake up. As you pour that growler, what are you pouring?
Cock Island. I thought I mentioned this before.
Ooh. Ooh.
Cock
Well,
Island.
I'm
Tasty
drinking
stuff.
brandy because people said brandy. Cheers.
I didn't want to have a dead chicken to put in front of him.
We can find one. We can find one.
Or you could put a
Well,
live
no.
chicken in there with him to keep him company.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, Jim Jones will spend much of his "this is our off cam" for this.
Yeah.
As Jim is going about looking, he vaguely remembers one of the wagons had small livestock and whatnot on it that they were carrying up the Sword Coast and selling along the way and buying, the typical kind of trader. You all start to realize that you're surrounded by a very heavy fog.
Oh, this
And
fog's never good.
as you start to notice that, and yes, your adventurer's instincts kicking in, even as Thodrian is putting that perfect crisp outer layer on the bacon,
Mmm.
slowing down just a little bit, and noticing that amongst the fog, small mushrooms are starting to pop up everywhere.
Wait, mushrooms?
Mushrooms are
Mushrooms?
growing out of the
No.
ground.
Hold on.
At
I need to get to the right fucking windows and roll a brewer's.
God.
Mushrooms? No. The last time we saw mushrooms, they tried to eat me, and I tried to burn them in turn.
I remember those mushrooms now.
Yes.
Holy shit, where do I find my thing? What is this? I have magical item prices, healing potions, demon nickel liquor, demon nickel blade.
Why
Everything but me. Where am I?
You should be above that under the heading player characters.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
And what you
Alright.
want is a nature check.
Yes. I'm
Which
gonna
is-
roll a nature check and a brewing check.
And anybody who
Because-
wants to can be rolling nature.
I have mushrooms. There's my nature check. 2, I'm not even rolling a brewer's check. I'm done. I'm done on that.
You're
Nope.
really entranced by the bacon.
Nope. I really ought to min-max my character. These I fail constantly are starting to hurt.
I mean, you rolled a
nat
1. You rolled a 1. There was no salvaging that, to be honest. And Billy and Walker are both pretty well convinced that while they're just mushrooms, they're incredibly toxic mushrooms. You shouldn't even eat the least little bit of it. Whereas you are convinced that they'll be perfect raw or, maybe added into a drink.
Oh God. No, don't eat those. Don't eat them.
He's already
Just
walked
keep
away
sipping
from
on
the.
your branding.
He's
Where the
already
fuck
walked
did
a
he
little
go?
bit away from the. He was looking for a chicken.
Oh God. Well.
So yeah, Jim,
Um.
you're convinced that they're tasty, possibly hallucinogenic. Definitely safe to eat, though. Whereas Walker and Brewbuckle are thinking that they are deadly poisonous. And especially you, Jim, since you're walking amongst the carts, are able to recognize that they're kind of the merchants are kind of scared about these things that are growing rapidly and in fact emitting puffs of black spores as they get larger
That
and
can't be good.
moaning as if in pain. The mushrooms
That's
are making
definitely
noise.
Not good. I'm half tempted to walk around like a flamethrower, just put them out of their misery. But I don't know how that would go. I need to consult. Should I just, Billy? Do you think we should just burn these things down real quick,
Yes, let's
or do you think
purify.
that might make it worse?
Well, we don't know exactly how flammable these things are. And I'm pretty sure someone here has seen something like this becoming even more explosive than you wished.
Thodrian?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying that, yes, let's aerosolize something you expect to be poison.
That is a good point, but also since you were the one person who opted not to roll a nature check, I decided that even as you're being careful about the bacon, you are paying enough attention to be pretty certain that they're practically growing fast enough to watch them grow. As we try and figure out what happened to... Is he still... He's no longer even in the voice chat.
Dead at the moment.
Uh-oh.
That doesn't look natural there. I think there's some funny business afoot here.
Well, since Jim had walked away from the rest of the group, we can carry on with Walker and Billy and Thodrian.
Well, so yeah, let's not aerosolize this stuff, but we should probably consider getting the hell out of here pretty quick, though. I mean, how widespread is this stuff anyway?
As you start to look around, you realize that except for right around the campfires that have dried out the wet ground, it's been a few sessions, so y'all might not remember that it's been raining constantly for the past several days.
Oh, shit.
So short of in the areas right around campfires that have been drying out the ground, or where you've got a wagon kind of shielding the ground a little bit, they're all around you in every direction you look.
Wait,
even growing up,
didn't this area have a building that was abandoned?
That was, I'm pretty sure that was several, like, that was a ways ago.
Okay. We should probably get moving. Now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna basically take the food that we got and throw it on top of one of the like heavy wooden sections of the wagon that's not going to get too terribly burned by
the hot skillet.
Yeah. And, or actually, since it's been raining and drizzly, I'll take one of the wet pieces of fabric somewhere and use that as like a hot mat to stick it on the wagon.
All right.
I guess, where did the other one run off to? Who's chasing the chicken?
I don't know where he went.
Brune nods in the general direction of the other merchants.
Okay.
Of course, by now, because most of them sort of shifted their campsites a little bit away from you guys after the whole incident.
Yeah.
There is a small patch of shrooms between you and the other merchants at this point.
Oh, wonderful.
Not a big patch. You know, you're talking about, you could maybe even jump it.
Mm-hmm.
If you were truly worried about the shrooms.
Honestly, either way, we're going to be stomping and tromping through this shit or kicking up some fucking spore dust when we crush these things by just walking through them, but we should probably just, start trying to beat feet out of here as quick as possible.
All right.
Because either way, we're going to catch some of this stuff, so we might as well just get moving now instead of trying to be careful. The quicker we get out of here, the better.
I was going to say, would it be possible for me to use my Channel Divinity, Nature's Wrath, that allows me to make spectral vines, and instead of using it for the original purpose, which is to ensnare foes, could I instead direct the vines to create like a mat across the mushroom so that we have a way to walk across it as long as I'm maintaining it?
You know? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong damn class. I think I'm going to go perhaps even beyond that. What would be the appropriate check? Because I like that idea, and good thinking should always be rewarded.
I mean, instead of burning all this stuff while we're on the subject, I could try to freeze a path at the very least with Ray of Frost.
I was going to say, we're still going to need to get the wagon through, so it might be useful to get Martin onto the other side and then try to pull the wagon across the mushrooms when we get that point.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to offer for you is using that channel divinity feature on a successful DC 10 charisma check. It'll actually cause the shrooms in an area to effectively the same size area as would normally be affected by your normal ability to shrivel and collapse on themselves, basically.
Okay.
Clear a zone.
All right.
I feel like that's an appropriate use of that ability, given what I know that you don't. There you go. You can easily clear the area between you and the other merchants with that.
All right. So I'll go ahead and clear the area. I'm going to move or take Walker out of the wagon and move him to the other side.
Martin, but yes.
Martin, yes, sorry.
And just to save everybody some trouble, Brune will be on Martin carrying duty, chuckling to himself about how, he's a cub.
Yep.
And then I guess I'll tie a rope to the wagon and attempt to pull it through, unless I can actually pull it through the mushroom that I've already cleared.
The donkey is familiar enough with you guys as to follow when commanded. Especially since, Jim isn't around to encourage his drunkenness.
Yeah.
I feel like part of it's out of addiction and other parts out of fear.
Fair. Very fair. And so you make your way over to the rest of the group. The caravanners seem to be very put off seeing the fungus as a ill omen, worried that they're poisonous or worse. And in fact, you notice that the less inebriated animals in the area, the ones attached to other wagons, all seem very spooked by the constant moaning coming up from the fungi. And
Shit.
And then you find Jim. Jim is just sitting, looking a little stoned, with part of a shroom hanging out of his mouth, drooling on himself.
Oh, great. He ate it. Damn it, he ate it.
If it weren't for the fact that he's a dwarf, I'm pretty sure he'd be dead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, he's preserving the mushrooms with all the alcohol that's in his system.
For anyone who is wondering, Alucard's computer did in fact crash. He is working on rejoining us. He contacted me by other means.
Oh.
And he did say carry on, and just write his character off as passed out in some way, shape, or form.
Can do.
Which is effectively what I just did.
Hell yeah.
In case anybody in the audience was fearing that I didn't have his blessing for what I just did to him.
So I'm gonna try to get him up into the wagon then.
Brune will set down the other disabled player long enough to help you with that.
To be fair, wouldn't our characters want to make sure he's at least breathing?
He appears to be breathing.
He's
not
alive enough.
Fine.
He does make grasping actions towards the flask that you're keeping the last 12 shots of demonic or liquor in. So you're pretty sure he's still there.
That as tempting as it is to give it to him, that may well actually kill him.
We are
from
not.
the perspective of trying to counteract the poison with something that'll turn him demonic enough to take it and tank it.
We are
it
not
might actually kill him in the process.
We are not combining shrooms and demon ichor liquor in a player who is non-compos mentis in the sense that they're not even logged in.
I get that. I get it.
As tempting as it is.
One of these shrooms. Someone take one of these shrooms for later.
We'll keep some charcoal on hand just in case.
Right,
so you've joined up with the you found Jim. You have joined up with the other members of the caravan who don't seem inclined to do anything other than panic. Including those super amazing bodyguards that you met early on who got hired on by Walker's boss.
Yeah. Boy, he has real stellar pick of people, doesn't he?
They appear to be pissing off the people handling one of the wagons you know to belong to the Cult of the Dragon because they've climbed up on top of it and are waving their swords ineffectually at the mushrooms below the wagon.
Oh boy.
Like imagine one of those sexist 1950s black and white shows where the woman is up on a chair dancing on her tippy toes because there's a mouse in the kitchen.
Oh no.
That's them. Over some fucking shrooms.
If it weren't for the fact that Billy knows that these are potentially deadly, I'd be very tempted to throw one at them.
Yeah.
Well,
they should be happy. They should be happy that Billy doesn't have the power of magic to torment them. Mage Hand would go a long way with this.
Unfortunately, I don't have that one.
It's not.
So, wow, they don't really do a great job. I have a mental image that works out. But looking around you, I guess the easiest way to put it is the shrooms look to extend out across the coastway and the surrounding territories pretty much as far as you can see.
We're gonna be in this shit for a while.
Your vision's a bit limited by, the fog, but it goes out as far as you. It goes out there, man.
Oh fuck.
A reasonable assessment by Thodrian. He's pretty sure that while he can do he can do a fair bit to mitigate with his channel divinity, it's not going to get you clear of it on its own, and that'll leave you high and dry on the channels.
Right.
And
well, we don't know what we're going to be running into, so we're going to run out of steam anyway if we keep trying to channel divinities. So maybe do one to get us clear what is initially around us, and once we're moving, maybe we'll be a little better off.
In other words, just tank it enough so we can steamroll through this. Our best bet is to get moving as soon as possible and to not stop.
Yeah, pretty much. And we got to try to convince the rest of the caravan to move because they're probably in our way. Unless they're already trying to angle to get the hell out of there.
Arguably, you guys were closer to the front end than the rest of them because they understood the dangers behind them. And if they were going to move away from y'all people because y'all was freaks, they was going to move back towards Baldur's Gate rather than forward towards towards the Troll Claws and Dragon Spear.
Okay, well, I guess let's get moving.
So technically, y'all could turn your backs on them and start clearing the way.
Yeah.
I'm good
And
with that.
all right. And I will grant you the following information that it's not too hard to just sweep them aside with a broom, a tree branch, what have you. Although by now, especially with dealing with getting to the other merchants, Cologne, they have no idea if the mushrooms are sentient or not.
Hmm.
But
I don't think Billy would know to check that.
in the time that it's taken to group up, get through to the merchants that, hey, you gotta move, even if it's just following us while we do the hard goddamn work, you punks.
Yeah. Okay, ass bitches.
That's long enough to notice that they've grown from the size of champagne corks to as much as 6 inches tall. They're starting to almost resemble dildos at this point.
Fuck.
Oh
Correct
god,
me
we
if
entered
I'm
the
wrong.
Shivering Isles.
Oh, wait, I did have Mage Hand. I could have screwed with them so hard. God damn it. Shit. Alright, whatever.
And
Now, correct me if
so,
I'm wrong, since it's been a bit, but cantrips I can just cast to my heart's content, right?
correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Alright. Well, since I don't want to aerosolize shit with Firebolt, maybe Ray of Frost will help, and just kind of clear this shit from a path, you know?
So you're going to start Ray of Frosting, Billy and
Yeah.
Thodrian's occasionally maybe using his divine abilities, but for the most part, manual labor. Clear these suckers out of the way.
In short, freeze the ones in front of us. If they're frozen, they can't release spores.
Yep. That's the plan.
I'm going to ask that everyone make a Constitution save. It is against Ziggy and Donut. You have advantage because you're dwarves.
Yep.
Because of this plan that you guys have formulated, Walker, I'm also going to grant you advantage.
All right.
Hey.
Let's see here. Advantage, Constitution.
Not that any of you really needed it that much. Okay. So it should be noticed that this is almost traumatic for you guys, because as you're clearing them away, the soft moans of pain rise to shrieks of agony, and it seems like they're even writhing in pain from what you're doing to them.
Oh god.
As they let out desperate gasps of death before collapsing back to the ground.
You know, and sometimes they'd actually pay to see this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some people would pay for you to do it to them.
And you keep working, and, you know, the wagons are following you at a distance. Fortunately, nothing's really growing up behind you in the areas you've already cleared.
Yeah.
But it takes you a full 2 hours to make your way out of this patch of screaming, dying, suffering fungi.
Whoa.
But then the road ahead of you is clear. It's good. It's fine. You can keep going.
All right.
You know, it's just
cleared
2 hours
I've
of
still
murdering some creature of some sort.
Yeah.
In some way.
Well, it's not technically genocide, since there's still a bunch of them left. But
I can think of all sorts of ways that sentence is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the entire Turkish argument? What do you mean we genocided the Armenians? There's still a lot of them left.
They're not all gone. Whoops. Sorry.
Just call us the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
The next few days pass without much in the way of problem, conniption fit, what have you. As I try to get the right color so that I can continue drawing my little line here, because damn it, I'm an engineer and we love our lines. And so, in due time... Oh, I'm sure you will, Cologne. I'm sure you will. Apparently, we're going to get some sound bites of us endorsing genocide.
Oh, of course we are.
Hey, that's the entire point of playing D&D. If you rack up how much it takes to actually get to level 20, it's just borderline genocide.
There's a reason that PCs are often called murder hobos.
Yeah.
I've actually had to calculate how much experience an entire town was worth before, so...
That's pretty bad.
That is...
Long story short, not enough to level up.
You know, since I doubt anyone's ever going to play this module again, Cologne, if they had failed the saving throw, that's exactly what they would have gotten. The saving throw was to avoid having nightmares as a result of what was going on.
Wow.
Yeah,
but hilariously, not because they were actually screaming in pain and not what. It wasn't the psychological effect; it was the psychedelic effect.
Oh God.
I have no problem revealing that since it'll never come up again. This is another one of those cases where they could have written this better, but I spent a few hours this morning going over all of this shit. So hopefully this session goes better, except for the technical problems. We still haven't regained an Alucard, but we are going to forge on ahead without him because, damn it, we're going to make it somewhere.
We will. We will make
somehow,
it. We'll drag him
somewhere, we will advance the fucking plot.
Guys, we gotta fix that.
Speaking of which, you're now well into the Troll Claws and working on crossing at a ford in the Winding Water. A nice little river, not too big, not too small, good fording area. Despite the name Troll Claws, you have not seen any trolls nor claws.
That's promising.
Have we checked Alucard?
He has not regrown claws, and he has been suspiciously quiet and subdued ever since eating those shrooms. Okay. You're happy with this, to be honest, as far as I can tell.
How many days has he been high?
I mean, he's kind of come down off of the high, but he's mellow. He's chill. He's chillax.
Oh God.
He's good with this.
Okay.
It's kind of like his form of a hangover, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
Brune's just been kind of helping out like he always tries to do, as I realize that some of the things that I'm moving are not things I wanted to move. Bad thing. Uh-oh. You should be on a different layer. But still, you're crossing the Winding Water.
Mm-hmm.
Where is my contacts menu? Thank you. As I move these so that they're out of our way and I won't accidentally move them again. The dragon egg you guys still freaking have.
Yeah.
Hey man, I was tempted to cover in its brother.
There is a plot, Cologne. We just never notice because it never advances.
We kind of got sidetracked.
Repeatedly.
A lot.
It's hilarious.
I'm guessing at this point it should count as a full rest.
Oh yeah, no, you've had several full rests by now. All your shit's back at full. You've had days on the road. Ooh. Excuse me. I do not mean to yawn so much. As I occasionally take a moment to double check that I haven't heard anything from Alucard letting me know what the hell's going on with his situation. Because if he
His
just... It's bizarre. He has a new system. Don't tell anyone. He has a new system, but it's being problematic. We're working through it.
I heard it was crashing Steam a lot.
Well, Steam was crashing it a lot, is the better way of putting it.
Mm.
But the caravan is crossing the winding waters, and as the last of the wagons that the cultists have is coming up out of the water, they, with all of the other wagons that have just gone through this ford, kind of wearing an even deeper rut into the clay right as it comes out of the water, there's a lot of tolerances stacking up. And the wagon catches at the wrong angle at the wrong moment, and one of the wheels snaps, jolting the cart to the side and spilling crates, one of which smashes open on the rocks, revealing dozens of beautiful items of jewelry and, chased silver tea sets. A lot of nice, beautiful things.
Uh-huh.
And yes, they have discussed making a dragon omelet cologne. That has been brought up before. So yeah, people are starting to gather round. Not just the cultists, but people like Aldor, Walker's client, and Bade, and various guards and sundry people sort of staring at this large treasure that you guys know they don't legally own and would do a lot to protect.
Uh-huh.
And so they're trying to, the cultists are trying to rapidly gather everything up and pack it back up. And what do you guys do? Anything?
I'm open to suggestions.
Well,
are they people that previously pissed me off? That's a big part of my flaw.
Well, while you weren't a player back then, your character was in the town of Green Est when it was attacked by these motherfuckers. Some of the shit they stole, depending on exactly how you want to roll with it, some of the shit that they stole from Green Est could either belong to a former employer or to you, or you can decide your level of investment in this, basically. Did they steal something from an employer you respected, or even steal something from you during that whole debacle? Or are you more dispassionately associated with it? It's just, okay, you're on a job, you're doing your job. I'll let you decide.
All right. How it's going through my head is that, well, I can't prove that these people personally were there attacking it. They could simply came on later. I kind of want to see if there's anything of Billy's former military association that's in there, because that would cause him to kind of step in and ask what's going on.
All right. Go ahead and give me a perception check. And in fact, Walker and Thodrian can also be making perception checks.
Perception.
Because I was reading this. It's one of those. Look, I need to make like an entire video series about how badly these things are written, because they have a lot of details dropped in, but you have to remember them and find them, and I really need to take a highlighter to this book.
Yeah. A highlighter and a knife, maybe?
I'm still thinking of literally burning this thing after this game is over.
Damn.
Well, my entire complaint with, and this is kind of off topic, but the entire complaint I have with the module I'm running is that they'll tell you, like, the treasures that you're trying to find the stats for, but they don't tell you where the hell you find it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell you where this character's introduced, but they're super important in this area.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I honestly think that they assume that you read the entire module in advance and then do a lot of the legwork of tying things together. All right. So, Billy, well, let me roll a check myself first. Yeah, so Billy, one of those tea services, it has the crest of your old military organization on it.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I have to go ask them where the hell they got that.
It's possible. It's possible that they sold that at some point because, you know, it's a tea service. You get tired of it. But really? Fucking really?
Yeah, I gotta ask them where they got that shit.
And, Thodrian, as you're kind of walking up and perhaps even following Billy a little bit to make sure that he doesn't get himself into a fight that he will ultimately lose and be killed in, you spot some of the ow.
Ooh.
Sorry. I forgot I had my ringer on.
Oh, it's not helped by the fact that is a work ringtone. And so it's like, oh shit, who emailed? What broke?
In order for me to pay attention to my phone, I have to make it the most annoying thing possible. Otherwise, I will ignore it.
Why the fuck do you think that's a work ringtone? That is what my company sets the ringtone to. So, as you're kind of following Billy in a little bit, you notice a couple of pieces of jewelry that Governor Nighthill back in Greenest described amongst the more prominent items that had been looted from the town. You know, things worth on the order of 500 plus gold. Thodrian. So Billy has suspicions. You, Thodrian, you know that was at least reported as stolen.
So,
as the cultists are rapidly trying to cram all of it into wherever they can find space and trying to hold people away from closing in on them.
So I kind of nudge Billy and go,
those look like the items that were stolen from the town. Pretty sure they didn't get those through official means.
Alright, I gotta ask one of them where the hell they got this stuff. I'm not gonna openly try to kill them, but I need to justify it if it happens.
I'm not going to dictate your actions.
So,
but just as a quick reminder, you guys knew that these people were supposed to be people who had stolen shit from Greenest.
Yeah. But now we know.
So now you have confirmation of it.
And now we know where it's at.
You know where it's at, but the goal of this mission that you were hired for was to see where they're taking it.
We'll get it when they get where they're going. Now we know what to watch.
I'm not asking any of you to take back your actions or anything. Because it's been so long and we've had so many intervening things, I wanted to put that reminder out there of the official goal, however you do it. Even if it's by confronting them right now and going, you guys are the problem, we're going to get everybody to rally behind us and then take you out and interrogate you to find out where you were going. The goal that you were originally shooting for was to follow them and see where they're going. So a confrontation now might not be constructive, but if it's your flaw, I can understand running with it. Hell, if it's just what you feel your character would do in the moment, run with it. I just want to remind you of what the original goal was in case that would change what you think your character would do, because we've had so long to forget.
All right, so I took a quick look over my sheet again, and it's kind of a conflict of his bond and flaw to immediately antagonize them. So I want to try to help put the stuff that had in Billy's military, like, paraphernalia back into a crate and kind of ask them where they got this from.
So you're asking it less confrontationally and more, hey, this is some interesting shit. Where'd you get it from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if they are people from my previous company, my bond is that I will fight and die amongst those who will fight alongside me. And it's contradictory to immediately want to kill them just because they wronged me.
Mm-hmm. So, give me an insight check, and since you're right behind him, Thodrian, give me one as well.
All right.
Walker, you're...
I'm still with my employer. I don't know really where I am in relation to them.
You're definitely nearby. You're not necessarily right on top of them. For the sake of argument, give me an insight check at disadvantage. Because you're kind of a little bit farther away, so you can't necessarily read any tells that are being given off.
Right. Okay.
And this is one of those checks that would be almost nicer to run. This is one of those checks where it's almost nicer to be able to run it as the DM rather than the player, so you don't realize. Because asking for an insight check makes it sound an awful lot like I'm telling you they're lying, doesn't it? The minute I ask for this check, so I need to start asking for this check, and in fact, for all you know, I'm lying to you right now, and I've been asking for insight checks when they're lying all the time, and when they're telling the truth all the time.
Well, all in all, that would actually be the smart thing to do, even if they are telling the truth, so... Because you don't know these people. For all you know, they could be lying, or they could be telling the truth. In my head, it's always been that insight is more insurance.
Right. So they explained to you how they picked this up at some sort of a swap meet market in Bear Ghost, down on the farther south on the Coastway. And that they're just, they're taking it along with all their other trinkets to see whether or not there's a market for it elsewhere.
All right.
Thodrian, while you're not entirely certain they're lying, you're right on that borderline, and in particular of interest in your mind is that, as people might notice on the map, Bear Ghost is the first major town after Green Est that the cultist caravan went through. So it would be the perfect place for them to claim that they picked up contraband goods. And Walker, as you're kind of taking that in, your client, Aldor, pipes up, "Oh, so surely you've got proof of providence for that, don't you? And if you don't, I'm sure as he starts walking right up to the cultists, brushing past Thodrian and Billy, whipping out parchment and quill pen. Of course, I'd be happy to generate the necessary paperwork as long as you can remember all of the details that are required, for an appropriate fee, of course, I can ensure that at the end of the day, no one will have further questions about the provenance of your property.
Oh, God, I'm going to have to take my payment off his body. Is what I'm thinking. Shit. Alright, I'm going to see if I can't persuade him that now isn't really the best time. Let's maybe bring this up later. We're still trying to move along here, and they're still trying to pick up all this stuff. I'm going to try to persuade him. Please. Shit, I accidentally rolled a disadvantage again.
You know what? It doesn't matter because you rolled identical. Wow,
oh,
that's rare.
That happens a lot in mine. I don't know why, but that happens a lot in my games.
That's because the universe hates you.
No, that's because the universe freaking loves my fiance.
Yeah.
You know, that's enough. As he's trying to keep selling, always be selling.
Mm-hmm.
And as I imagine, and they can correct me if I'm wrong about this, Thodrian and Billy are trying to kind of subtly insert themselves to prevent the idiot from doing something idiotic.
Yeah.
Pretty
You know,
much.
just be passive obstructions to this freaking diversion. Get the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
You're able to turn him aside. It's like, well, anytime you need my services, you can find me in the Silk Palanquin. Yes, I'm the one riding in the rich part of the caravan. And obviously that's not exactly what he says. It's a paraphrasing to mock idiots. As you are able to guide him away, and Billy and Thodrian are able to notice that several of the cultists are still sort of eyeballing him, even as several other people, spurred on by Billy and Aldor's statement, start questioning the provenance of the property that's being locked up quickly and rapidly.
Yeah.
And give me the better of an insight or a perception check, all three of you.
Alright, let's see here. Let's see here. I go either way on them, so...
We're taking the first one since... Ooh!
Shit.
You had to forget to click back over to no advantage, disadvantage.
I'm gonna go ahead and deal with that, damn it. Can I mulligan that?
Hold on a second. We're going to randomly roll the mulligan. God damn it, I forgot that fudge dice have a don't know answer.
Oh, God.
Fine, evens odds. You can mulligan it.
Alright. And I'm gonna go with the same one, the, damn it, I'm trying to click random things.
I thought it was out of my hair, but it wasn't.
Alright. And it didn't do any better. God.
Well, you did a little better.
You did 5% better. And when you're dealing with something like the coronavirus, 5% makes all the difference. Unfortunately, you're dealing with the goddamn Cult of the Dragon, and they're far more discerning.
Wonderful.
Arguably far more deadly, too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure canonically they actually have a higher failure rate. I think coronavirus is technically more deadly than the Cult of the Dragon.
That actually wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, they're notoriously inept historically in Faerun. But no, Billy, perhaps it's because of your mercenary background and your, past dealings and whatnot, but you kind of notice that there's one guy in the back of the crowd of the cultists that is just kind of, his eyes are rapidly darting back and forth between each individual person who shows a little too much interest in their collection.
Shit.
As somebody else sort of just kind of pacifies the crowd with some bullshit about how, oh yeah, no, they're barter goods that we picked up in Bear Ghost, Baldur's Gate, you know, Candlekeep even. We're buying and selling, we're trading, we're making deals, we're gonna make it move, we're gonna make it rain. Nothing going on here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right, I know exactly what Billy's gonna do. I'm going to grab the flask. Say, "What's wrong, lad? You nervous? Need a drink?" And kind of hold up the flask that has the demon liquor.
Oh. Oh.
He's looking at you, looks at the flask. After the way I saw your friend's head explode, I'm never going to touch a damn drop of anything you offer me, so try again with something less idiotic.
Oh. Oh.
Well, at the same time, as you see, none of us are actually dead. Just because they had a bad experience doesn't mean all do. After all, we seem to be a bit dwarven heavy in our group.
When's the last time either the damn drunken priest or the silly little rogue have said a word?
To be fair, one of that is because of the mushrooms, not the liquor. And the other one, well, he's been known to have a bad experience with any kind of alcohol.
His constitution is quite weak.
Yes, either way, I will stick with Macallan, and you can drink whatever brew is in that flask.
Threaten him with a good time.
He already has a good time.
I'm gonna kind of just tip the flask up and take a quick swig as a attempt to show that there's no harm in it.
Attempt.
Give me a Constitution save?
Let's see what happens.
And I do get advantage because it is poison, and I'm a dwarf. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Nothing happens.
Okay. Which reminds me, I haven't been enforcing those because we're in a really shitty place to be trying to enforce those. Oh, there's technically supposed to be something happening every day for Billy and Walker, but I haven't cared enough to push it because we're trying to move the plot. Move the plot!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That can't be good.
Yes! Make Faerun great again!
God.
So yes, Billy takes his swig. Whereas this fellow takes a swig from, well, to y'all's eyes, a rather swank-ass bottle. Like, that glass is too well forged, and there's actually a printed paper label on it.
Wow. That's some high-class shit.
You're not even sure how that's done. What sort of sorcery would be involved in producing multicolored images that don't appear to be painted?
Ooh.
Aside to the live chat, yes, I've acknowledged that Faerun officially has portals to the real world in the past. Some sort of a bottle labeled Macallan 18 year. And so, he doesn't give you any better than small talk beyond this point. As the cultists finish packing away their belongings. That are totally theirs. Totally theirs. Possession is 9/9 of the law, damn it.
We can let them get away with it briefly.
After all, the ultimate goal is to really fuck with them later.
Yes.
Well, we did get useful information, which one to look out for, and exactly which one or which wagon to look out for.
That we did.
We have at least one person there that's at least somewhat intelligent and very paranoid.
Paranoia. It's only paranoia if, well,
With the demon liquor, it is paranoia.
yeah.
Probably.
Nothing, or, there's a chance nothing will happen, but there's also a chance that, well, a chest burster is going to spontaneously occur within your chest. You never know with this stuff.
Well, let me suggest that we take a short break to
All right.
improve the odds that our wayward player will rejoin us, and also to let anybody else in the group get a chance to refreshen their drinks, bleed their lizards, or whatever other elements of nature may be required. We'll be right back. We are back with our friends and family and loved ones known as those people who are subscribers who have clicked the bell and all that happy shit. Yeah, no, fuck that shit. I'm happy y'all are here. Nobody should be subscribed to this channel. Nobody should be clicking that bell. But I'm happy you're here anyways.
I'm gonna do it out of spite now.
Well, fuck you too, Ziggy.
Hey, not unless the wife says so.
Absolutely. Consent is required from all relevant parties, which includes spouses. Always. And so, you have, as you said before we took the short break, discovered that some of the contraband from Green Est is at least on one particular cart, which you can pretty well recognize. I mean, carts are kind of interchangeable, but they sort of develop character flaws over time. The same crews of horses or mules get hooked up to them over and over again, so you can sort of recognize which cart it is. And hell, since Billy was helping with the reloading, he might have even marked it a little bit somehow. In some subtle way, if that's what he would do. And Thodreen was also close enough to it. So if either one of you would have tried to put a mark on it in some way, I'll accept that as headcanon and move on.
I know Billy has a ring on each hand, so more than likely he's kind of scratched up the crate a little bit to mark it.
So Billy marked the crate.
I was going to say, I'd probably just be looking to see where it's kept on the wagon itself.
Yeah. To be fair, I was 100% hoping the guy would take a sip of the liquor and I could just use my sword as a compass.
That is a hilarious but fair point.
Yeah.
Come on, boy. Who do I want to stab?
Seek him out.
So another day of travel passes. And another night. Another day. Another night. And then the morning after that second night, somebody's dead. They're dead, Jim.
What?
One of the guards who was in the camp, he's dead.
Uh-oh.
You got up in the morning and this dude did not.
That's awkward.
Most people are in favor of just, burying him on the side of the road and moving along.
Do we recognize this dude?
Give me wisdom or perception. Call it perception or investigation, whichever you're better at.
Let's take a look.
For everybody in the group.
All right.
Perception.
I don't know him from Bob.
Donut's like, that's an NPC. He existed.
Jeez. He was so mundane that nobody knew him.
He was literally named first name non, middle name player, third name character. Like, his family is the character family, and he had none.
Oh, shit.
The fuck's wrong with you people? You don't even care about your fellow travelers? He could have worked for you, Billy, for all you know. You were hired on as a sergeant. You had people under you, and you can't even remember if this guy was one of your guards. He's a dude.
To be fair, he's not the person of interest at the time. Whoever has that crate and that idiot who refused my beautiful liquor is.
So, given that none of you know who he is or any relations he might have had, you okay with just burying the fucker and moving on?
Well, while we're burying him and prepping his body, maybe try and figure out who the fuck he was? That seems like something we should do. That way we know at least what name to give him when we do bury him unassuming, shallow grave in the middle of nowhere.
Oh no. To be fair, non-player character Junior does know who he is.
Oh.
He's able to put a name to the guy, but it means nothing to you.
Okay.
Can we at least search for how he died?
Give me medicine checks.
Medicine checks. Look for holes. Okay.
Hey!
I don't get any bonus to that. This is gonna. Wow. For having no advantages for medicine.
Fucking damn!
Obvious this man was poisoned or something.
Jesus fuck! So
we don't know who he is, but we know how he died and what he ate last night.
So while everyone else is perfectly satisfied that he just died of some illness, probably caused by the ill omens and misdeeds of going through those shrooms so many days ago now. This is just their comeuppance starting to hit the caravan. All fucking three of you go fucking ducky from NCIS on this motherfucker. Thodrian finds the fucking injection site in between his index and ring fingers that doesn't actually work if you know anything about medicine, but it makes for great fucking TV. And Walker's like, yep, based on the weight of his liver, he was killed by X, Y, and Z. And Billy's like, yo, bros, it was poison, obviously. Like, come on.
So wait, not only did we investigate him, we eviscerated him for his liver.
Look, the three of you were...
Can you imagine the looks on the people around us doing this really down and dirty autopsy?
The way I figure it, non-player character Junior and you three volunteered to be the burial detail.
Oh, God.
Along with Brune, since the other two players are in non-cognitive states right now.
To be fair, Cuddly Brune would be excellent for digging a hole.
No. He went bareform and started digging a hole while you guys were performing the autopsy. Because apparently that's what you did! You fucking I mean... Come on.
Hey, this is going a lot better than the last burial I was involved in. It involves someone getting a chunk of their leg ripped off, some sort of robot, who knows.
So, damn. We made some progress on this investigation.
If you had the technology, you would have had fingerprints by now. But no, you can definitely tell that in spite of the fact that it looks a lot like he died of natural causes, motherfucker was poisoned.
Sweet.
The game doesn't tell me anything more than the DC for determining that it was poison. It doesn't tell me what sort of poison or anything, any of the flavor that would make it meaningful. But it's a poison that mimics natural causes.
Alright.
So it could have been cardiac arrest.
Yeah, sure, if people in the fucking Middle Ages understood what the fuck that was.
I'm sure they understand the basic concept of heart suddenly stops.
No, they understand. They understand the concept of dude fucking dead. Because remember, it wasn't even until the late Middle Ages that they understood that the heart was a fucking pump. Even though that was understood by fucking Aristotle. We got some problems, bro.
This is when we made sheer advances on the exact science of how to make dude dead.
Just call it magic,
I mean, that actually works in this setting. So, no, you guys...
Fuck.
You don't know who he was. You don't really know who he was in any meaningful sense. You don't know
We
why
don't know
anyone
who
would
he
try
was.
and kill him,
Yeah.
but you do know that this was a poisoning. Whether, well, no, because after all, I did say that that Thodrian found where somebody literally injected him. You know this was murder most foul by poison, not merely an accidental incident, but somebody intended him to die. And for shits and giggles, I awarded Thodrian with proficiency in medicine henceforth
Yep.
for all of this bullshit, because I feel like we should start just randomly awarding people skills and whatnot. Not randomly. It actually does make sense in a certain sense. So, yes.
So, a murder most foul on the Coastway Express.
I refuse to acknowledge this. I refuse to acknowledge this. I refuse to acknowledge this.
You're right. That we're in wagons. It's not very express.
And it is not very oriental either.
That's why I said Coastway. Because we're going along Coastway. Or at least the text on the map.
It could be worse. We could be going by foot.
It could be the Coastway Trail, where most likely we're dying from dysentery.
We could be going by flail snail. I had to unpause the stream just to watch Dragon go insane because of us. I know the sound of someone smacking themselves in the face with a book.
Yep.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Not only that, but school, I didn't agree with my teachers a lot. So, we're more than likely immediately suspicious that those idiots that, well, lied to us are the ones that poisoned him.
Why would you be suspicious of them?
Because we're already suspicious of them.
But do you know of any connection between them and non-player character Senior? I feel like he needs a name after this much of a joke. Oh god, he needs a name.
I don't know connection, but that's where part of the investigation comes in, is to find the connection. It's better to disprove that whoever we don't like did it, rather than to just wrongly do it and just ignore the connection altogether. Find a connection, we find who else did it. I've been reading too much Dresden.
His name is Franz.
I started Changes.
Ah, that's a good one.
Changes, as the name implies, changes everything.
Yeah, I'm not far into it, so I'm probably going to finish it this week, though.
Oh yeah.
Love you, Alnea, but since I already declared his name to be Franz, he'll have to be Franz Norman Pierce Cameron. I'll incorporate the rest of the name, but he's Franz Norman Pierce Cameron, not just Norman Pierce Cameron.
Can we launch him off a Pierce cannon?
No, because you have no cannons.
Shit, we don't have cannons.
So it's not canon that he goes out of the cannon.
And besides, his last name is Cameron, like the rich motherfucker, not cannon, like the method of demolishing a fortress.
So, Franz Norman Pierce Cameron died from being pierced with poison.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we have a puzzle to solve on our way to the city.
True.
And we have far too much time on our hands, as we have proven. We have proven that time and time again.
And so you continue, in spite of things, in spite of deaths, in spite of
Wait, deaths?
Well, death
Plural?
so far. Death so
Okay.
far.
I was about to say, what the hell?
I have trained you too well that you're paying attention to individual syllables. Fucking players. I can't use dramatic terms.
Sorry. Please
Speaking
continue.
of which, after another couple of days, there's another dude dead.
Of course there is.
You're not sure why. Actually, you know what? No, fuck it. Walker, give me a perception check.
Oh, God. All right. Perception check it is. Can we roll it at advantage since we crushed the
That's
last investigation?
No, this is entirely unrelated to.
Okay. Perception check. Not too bad. I rolled it twice for some reason.
It only shows it once for me, a 14.
Oh, sorry. I got it mixed up with my medicine check. My bad.
I did too. Not your fault. Not you aren't the only one. Oh, good. Oh, I was afraid of that too for a moment there. Nearly had a heart attack. Then y'all be investigating my death.
Oh, shit. What happened to the DM? I don't know. What happened to the guy that runs this reality? Shit.
So yeah, Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that death I mentioned as being a second death.
Oh, God.
After you fell asleep guarding Aldor.
Don't tell me it's Aldor.
Aldor's dead.
Son of a bitch.
He's dead, Jim. He's
Damn
dead.
it. Okay, so
Well,
Aldor's
now you
dead.
can take your payment.
Well, yeah, I can, but also
You already said that you had to take it off his corpse. You might as well just do it and
You
get it over.
literally said you were going to be taking your payment off of his corpse. And now
No,
he's
I
literally
thought
dead.
I thought that in character, thinking I'm gonna have to take my payment off his corpse if he doesn't quit. That was a thought, not audible.
Well, either way, it seems like he didn't quit, so take your payment.
Okay. Okay, so he's dead. Where am I in relation to him anyway?
Well, since you were on guard
For sleeping arrangements.
for sleeping arrangements, you sleep wherever you want. However, this particular night, you happen to have pulled the night shift of guarding, so you were actually more or less sitting outside of his tent.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
Unfortunately, you're pretty sure you might have drifted off a little bit there. I mean, it's not like you like the fucker.
Damn it. Alright.
And now he's dead. So, you're hoping for natural causes, I'm sure.
Alright, I'm gonna try to use a perception real quick to see if anything jumps out as to, did somebody cut their way through the back of the tent? Did someone leave a footprint next to me while I was dozing? Something.
Perception or investigation, whichever is better for that, given what you have described.
You know what? I'm gonna try an investigation. Let's see what happens. Please. Shit. I'm reasonably sure I didn't kill him in my sleep.
Are you though? Are you? I would not doubt. I would not doubt that you're like, please, just fucking let me kill him while I'm not aware of it.
Oh shit! I forgot to start keeping track of the days for the dragon liquor.
Hello, kitty.
We could worry about that later.
Yep.
Yes. It'll be ready by the time we reach our destination. Okay, so my employer's dead. I'm reasonably certain that I didn't do it.
You hope.
I hope. Maybe a side effect that has not been mentioned of that demon Ecker liquor. I don't know. But I'm reasonably certain that I'm not the one that killed him. Is a cause of death immediately apparent?
You know what? Actually, on an 11 on the investigation by Cat, I'll give you something, actually. There are some leaves at the bottom of the last cup you drank. that you don't quite recognize. They don't look appropriate for the situation.
Oh.
It's not like you were drinking tea necessarily.
Praise Bean.
Do you bring your friends in on this at all?
Yeah. It's time to bring in the peeps.
And I still have nothing from Alucard for anyone who's wondering why we're still down at 3 players.
Oh shit! His computer went down hard.
It got fucking happened. The fucking were declared.
There's always a chance that he got fed up, took a couple more shots, and just kind of noped out of the day.
That is a form of the fucking, and I would respect him for it. I know that's what I did last night, essentially, so I can't blame him.
Alright, so I bring everyone in on this clusterfuck. And we need to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm taking my payment.
Okay, what do you want me to look at?
Well, I'm curious what these fucking leaves are.
Nature check or medicine?
Whichever you're better at.
That'd be nature for some reason.
That's one of those where it actually is whichever one you're better at.
What are those leaves?
Those leaves are a natural sleep remedy. They do all of the shit that the mass-produced chamomile teas that we have in our modern American society claim to do, but they actually fucking work. Unlike all of those fucking mass-produced chamomile teas that we have in our modern society.
I don't know about you, but the one I have makes me pretty sleepy.
Somebody drugged.
Alright. So, somebody drugged me. What do I need to do to try to, work my way through step by step the night before to see who came around my fucking tent?
Wisdom check.
Oh god, we're playing Danganronpa now.
And while he's doing that, I assume that Thodrian and Billy are checking out the corpsicle.
Aw.
Investigation or whatever.
Investigation or medicine, whichever you prefer.
I can't find the holes, guys.
I might have.
Sorry, the medicine check for Thodrian would be at advantage. So roll a second roll, and we'll take whichever one's better.
Okay. 3 medicine checks above 20. Or at 20 or above. What the hell?
Keep
All right.
Going.
So
he's a paladin, not a cleric.
I've seen some shit, man.
He's seen some shit.
You've probably seen some shit because you caused some shit.
His brother from another plane. His brother from another plane learned how to harness the power of the meat bun to save the world. He's seen some shit. He has seen some shit. Don't you tell him which shit he has seen, because he has seen all of the shit. There is no shit which has not been seen. And what has been seen cannot be unseen. And why am I even repeating this? Because the shit, it has been seen.
I know, he didn't seem to have seen what the demon liquor does.
And I've been to another plane personally at this point.
Why do you think he failed to drink it? He's seen some shit, brah! So, Billy, as you're looking around and taking in the scene, you notice there's a certain amount of disruption in the tent. It doesn't quite fit the sleazeball, Better Call Saul lawyer aesthetic that this guy has been establishing his entire fucking career. And it leads you to where there's actually a slit that Walker had missed. You don't need to have seen it, you just need to know the name. The fact that you knew the name to know that it was a show means you know enough.
Oh, right.
But indeed, much like Walker was suspecting, but he missed it in his own investigation, by one point.
No.
there is a slit in a part of the tent to allow somebody to have entered unnoticed. And it really lines up pretty fucking well to where people who don't care about some fucking lawyer that nobody likes would never look for it. Whereas Thodrian not only finds the exact same needle placement, the exact same chemical makeup of... He duckies it. Congratulations, you have 2 murders on your hand committed by the same person.
Oh, God.
Wonderful. Alright, so...
And Walker, on your wisdom check... Hello, Kitty. Hello. I'm sorry. Stream derailed by Kitty? Hello. You are walking across my keyboard. Why are you here?
Kitty needs attention.
Hello. From your wisdom check to remember the night before, you're kind of confused as to why you accepted that last fucking tea from the people who, it's that fucker from the Cult of the Dragon.
Alright, time to go stabbing.
He gave you a cup of tea because, you looked a little peaked.
To be fair, we weren't exactly, mean to the dude, so... Alright.
Of course, short of your own testimony on your own account for yourselves, you got nothing on the guy. So, do you intend to just, fucking up and kill him in cold blood in front of everybody?
Alright, so here's a good question. At least how many do we suspect are part of the Cult of the Dragon?
That's one I will straight up give you. There are at least 12 cultists on the caravan.
Alright. 4 to 1, I don't like those odds that much. Unless they're all bunched together and we decide to just twin cast Fireball.
Which you're not high enough level yet to cast.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry, I was chatting with the wife real quick. So we know who did this, and we're debating on whether or not to kill him.
And whether or not it's politically possible to kill him, given the fact that there are 12 of them, and, well, right now, given inebriations, 3 of you.
Okay, so...
Only if we had our road to sneak in.
We're gonna have to just... Shit, we really can't justify this one, can we? Not unless we got something that can really nail it down.
Man, I can punt up to 3 people, but after that...
Yeah. Shit, well, now that we know who it is, we're just gonna have to keep an eye on him. And I'm gonna have to explain why the fuck my employer is dead.
I mean, it looks like natural causes if you just want to,
Yeah, let's just roll with the natural causes.
Mind you, that reinforces everyone else's perspective in the caravan that the cultists didn't do no wrong.
Well, we know they did, and we're going to be the ones dealing with them eventually anyway, so now we just need to keep an eye out and make sure they don't spontaneously try to off one of us.
That's fair. I wanted to put it out there in case you thought of relying on the other members of the caravan for any kind of help in the future.
Well,
that's going to be a hard sell because
hold on.
Sure.
Go ahead, Thodrian.
You could tell the caravan that there's a murder amidst us, but not tell them that we believe it's the Cult of the Dragon.
But is it worth stirring up that much panic? At this point, I think there's only 2 good courses of action. At least one of us staying up at all times, not accepting any drinks, even from Billy, and keeping that damn leaf so we can compare it to others we may find.
Yeah.
Well, but
Well, now that my employer's dead, I'm pretty much going to have to just go back to the rest of the group anyway. So we can swing that.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at it from if everyone's on their guard, it makes it harder for them to be able to continue what they're doing.
Yeah, it's just the weight of security versus panic. How well do we trust these people in the caravan to maintain a healthy balance of it? Because while we know and we suspect someone, we can't guarantee that these people are just going to freak out and start making mob mentalities and trying to kill people as we go.
Yeah, and we're also dealing with guards that aren't really,
competent,
yeah.
So given I do like to let my players make their own decisions, but just to add a little bit of thought into it, there is the option. I don't know that it's the right one. I haven't decided yet. There is the option for you to approach just the other caravan masters who are not part of the Cult of the Dragon, rather than exposing the murders to everyone.
Right.
This is the sort of idea that might occur to, for example, Thodrian or Billy, given his mercenary experience. You could go to the caravan masters and go, hey, we're keeping this on the DL because we don't want to create a panic. But Franz Cameron and Aldor, they were murdered.
Yeah.
Y'all might want to try and start looking at that and protecting yourselves. So that's an option to consider, whether or not your characters would think to approach the caravan masters rather than just blurting it out at the campfire.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Well, we need to. I'm sure we could find up some bullshit excuse why the masters can use so they can up their security. Like I'm sure if we're looking at a map, we see we're coming to the High Moor, we can't be too sure what the fuck is there. We could find something to say.
Yeah, we can sell this. I mean, hell, we're out in the wilds,
Mm-hmm. All right, give me the best persuasion or performance amongst you.
Persuasion.
Okay.
Perception was not what I asked for.
To be fair, that's right above performance.
Wow.
And okay, we're done here.
Yeah, I won that one.
Yeah, no. Walker went right from his boss's corpse to pulling together Bade, Lai, Oin, I think those are, and Green Imsa, and going, brah, sister too, because Green Imsa, you's a girl. We can tell you got the double D's, you's a girl, so bras and sister. We got a murderer. It's a problem. We're gonna deal with it, but we gotta keep it on the DL. Don't tell nobody, don't say some shit. We don't want to spook anybody. After all, anybody who's not one of the caravan masters might be the murderer. So, keep it cool. Keep
Don't
it
accept
cool.
any drinks from anyone.
Don't accept drinks from anybody. Make sure that your guards are awake at night because,
Have a buddy.
Pinchy, needle. And just roll with it. And don't die. Cool? Cool.
All right. Now, with that high of a persuasion, can I swing like swiping all of my payment and then some from my former employer? He's not going to need it.
Yes, and we'll work out the details off stream.
Awesome.
Just do it as you're burying him. It'll give a good cover.
He's funding the future of our endeavors. He'd be proud.
Oh God, you don't want to know the details.
I don't.
And so you carry on, and you keep an eye, especially now that you have a pattern emerging, you're kind of keeping an eye out and kind of eyeballing the cultists, and you start to notice that the cultists are eyeballing you specifically. Like, y'all are starting to stand out to them. Especially since Mr. Walker appeared to just translate his affiliation with his now dead charge over to this fucking drunk dwarf who just sits there and drools on himself every day, yawing his mule as the mule keeps drinking his money. I mean, serious, where the fuck is Alucard? I want Alucard back! I want... Okay, anyways, moving on. Moving on!
I mean, I could down the rest of my liquor and imitate him a bit.
We don't need that.
To be fair, I don't have much left. I got maybe 4 shots left.
But, nonetheless, just a few days outside of Dragonspear, buried, it seems, in the Coast Way, is a head. There's literally a head ahead of you. It's a head in the road.
What species? I love asking the questions that forces the DM to do research.
It's a head in the road. It doesn't have pointy ears. It doesn't have pointy ears. It doesn't have big tusks. There's no green to it. It's bigger than a halfling, smaller than a Goliath.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I don't want its teeth.
There's a head in the road.
So we got to figure out if we recognize them.
It's a ways away, maybe like 100 yards or so when you notice it, and the whole train just kind of fucking stops because there's a head in the road.
To be fair, my blind ass wouldn't be able to see what a head is at 100 yards.
That's a big head if you can make it out at 100 yards.
Remember, we're talking about a world that doesn't have footballs, soccer balls, or, well,
yeah.
At 100 yards, I can tell the difference between a soccer ball, a basketball, a football.
Hey, for all we know, it's just
a tuba.
It's just a particularly fat raccoon just laying in the road.
But
what you definitely know is that it is not a tuba.
All right. Well, we got to go take a look at it because obviously the caravan's not going to.
My wife wishes to also point out that you can tell that it is not a cat. It is neither a cat nor a tuba, and it looks like probably a human head.
Wonderful.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's go kill something.
So you're approaching the head?
Yeah, with somewhat of reasonable caution.
All right, give me perception checks, because of presumably, using caution, you're going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why is
All
there
of
a
us?
head?
What?
All of us are just Walker.
Perception.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know shit. I think it's a coconut.
A bunch of
shit.
coconuts sitting in the road.
big, one small, one skull.
For all I know, an African swallow brought it up. I don't know what the fuck Africa is, but it did.
I crushed a persuasion, and then I can't perceive shit.
So y'all are approaching and walking up towards it, and generally moving in a direction which will decrease the objectively observable distance between you and the head in the road. And it rapidly becomes obvious to Thodrian that the head appears to be attached to a neck, and that the neck appears to be attached to something which appears to be under disturbed earth. Presumably some kind of a body, maybe.
Oh. So he was buried up until his neck.
And in fact, as you all approach closer and closer and closer, you start to realize, first with Thodrian, and later and eventually with the rest of you, that there's something on his forehead which ultimately resolves into paint spelling out the word Oathbreaker on his forehead.
Oh, okay.
And as you really get in close up on him, with no signs of any threats or dangers that you need to worry about, you realize that he is still alive, but unconscious.
Alright, I was about to start poking him with something sharp.
And now I'm going to tell you how stupidly the fucking game wrote this. At 100 fucking yards away, any person achieving a 15 on a perception check would have realized that they were buried up to the neck but unconscious and still alive, but they wouldn't have been able to read the word Oathbreaker, so they would have been able to perceive that he was alive from 100 yards away, but not read what was written on his forehead. Because you can't read the word Oathbreaker until you get within 10 yards of him. Badly written module.
God damn.
Regardless, as we covered, you can tell that he is alive but unconscious, buried up to his neck, and has the word Oathbreaker written across his forehead.
Well, gonna go get the shovel.
He has clearly been suffering from exposure.
Right.
And it sounds like Thodrian is going to start digging him out. Does anyone move to help him?
Yeah, I'll keep watch, because if they buried him up to his neck, they may be watching to make sure he dies.
I can't really trust Cuddly Brune to dig him up because, well, we don't know. Or I can't guarantee he's not just going to maul him on accident.
Cuddly Brune is kind of currently run by the whim of the DM.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm not going to try to ask.
God damn, y'all. Do y'all think so lowly of me as a DM?
No, it's just because the rolls.
Yeah.
This shit might go sideways.
And Zhao will tell you how good of an idea it is to let the DM try to dig up a body. Or bury one.
Living or otherwise.
So I guess I'll try to help him out. I'm definitely keeping all my gear as ready as possible while I try to dig this body up. I'm partially hesitant to actually finish digging him up until we get some answers, but we can't guarantee how long he's going to stay alive. If it's a he.
It is a he.
I was gonna say, I can slap him on the butt for a little bit of lay on hands action.
That is enough to wake him up. And he obviously starts begging you to, unbury him. Please, please, for the love of gods, unbury him. By Timora, by Tyr, by Bahamut, Helm even. Please, dig him up. Let him loose. Lathander begs you.
Well, given that Billy has no qualms about kind of interrogating people into psychologically distressful situations, I feel like he'd want to get some answers before he obliged him.
That is fair. Just as a point of reference for Billy, every god he invoked was good and possibly lawful, and invoking them would bind him to them. I'm not saying that should change your decision to leave him buried and interrogate. I'm just giving you context.
I'm just going to tell him I'm not going to finish uncovering him until I know why he was buried in the first place. Because if what he did was, well, heinous, I'm going to leave him. If he did something like kill some family or whatever, I'm leaving him. Because I'm not judge, jury, or I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not executioner. I've done that before, but but I'm not judge and jury. I don't know what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty much, I just want to know what the hell he did to get buried.
Yeah.
And for the record, Thodrian and Walker, you have sufficient knowledge of religion to be in a similar boat of understanding what this guy invoked upon himself by his statement.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm still intent on digging him out.
Right. So as Thodrian keeps digging carefully around this guy, and Billy kind of pauses and goes, "No, I need to understand why you're buried." After a moment or two and a sigh, I gave my oath to marry a woman, and I was forced to betray that very oath unto her father and brothers and herself, because I discovered that they were bandits and would compel me to serve amongst them. And I could not do that. I could not betray myself in such a way as to do unto others as I would not do unto myself. And please, my friends, my allies, please, I beg of you, roll an insight check.
Insight.
I demand of you that you roll an insight check.
Insight.
Every person who could hear me. Oh my god, you fucking bastards.
Let me see, hold on. I'm getting there.
I want to make sure I got the god right before I say what I'm going to say. It's right at the end of the player's handbook, so I can do that real quick.
Wow.
Really? Really?
Nobody believes him?
Really, fucking game? You had to go with the fucking most Arab fucking bastard you could for this? Really? Hun? Look at the name, look at the fucking icon, and ask yourself how fucking racist that is.
That's subtle.
That's not subtle.
Yeah.
My wife failed her check.
God damn it.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll with advantage. Oh, I rolled with advantage because I got to see it in advance. There you go. Okay.
Alright.
Totally
Well, I know what I want to say to him.
For the record, all of you believe absolutely his story.
Hey,
Yep.
with advantage. Boom. However, I'm not here.
There are more racist-looking characters in gaming. You're right, Derek. You are right, but the name of that character and that image is pretty bad. It's not the worst, but it's definitely less than the best. So yeah, he is trying to escape a bad marriage arrangement. Because, he doesn't want to be a bandit.
Okay.
As Thodrian keeps digging him up. And he seems honest enough.
You give me your word, or you vote, and the honor will help me faster.
Repeat that, Ziggy. Your microphone broke up a lot there.
Swear by Celeborn, I help him get you out of the ground faster.
I swear by Kelimvor that I have never broken an oath.
Alright, I help dig him out more.
Alright. So, the three of you dig him up. And as you're pulling him up, give me perception checks.
Oh, boy.
That honey whiskey is good. Okay.
Dear Lord.
I feel like the more I drink, the worse I roll, so maybe I should stop drinking.
There, somebody sees what there is to see. I'm only good for medicine right now.
I perceived the hell out of something.
You definitely... You're staring at his crotch at that point.
Oh, God.
It's a good crutch.
Yeah, actually, you know, So, you might remember, Walker, almost a month ago even, back in El Turl,
Uh-huh.
when you were negotiating with some fucker whose name From! The fucker named From, the paladin even.
Yeah.
God damn. And you were introduced to a couple of organizations with which you all could join. One of which was the Harpers. As you're pulling him out, you notice on the inside of his armpit the symbol of the Harpers tattooed into his skin. Not something some casual possible brigand would actually have upon his person.
Yeah.
I forget all who in our group is right now a Harper, because I know a few of you joined.
I can't remember. Hell, I don't even remember if I joined anything of those. I don't remember if they fit with my character.
I know that Billy did not.
Billy did not. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that Donut's character Thodrian joined the other group. I don't.
So. That sounds familiar.
Because From was not a Harper. And I do believe that this is an excellent point to call it a night. So thank you all, and we will be back in 2 weeks, I hope, unless shit goes sideways.
Well, we'll all be indoors.
Yeah.